Go back to Capitol Square. Let's turn our attention to the 18th district now. Bob Gibbs and Zach Space. Kind of interesting. I mean, McCain won this district a couple years ago, but Zach Space had a very easy time, James. By all accounts, this should be close.
What's interesting is that Space is actually running to the right of Bob Gibbs on a lot of things, which is ironic for a Democrat. He's talking about tax-raising Bob Gibbs, and that's his message. So Space, you know, if you didn't know better, you'd think he was the Republican in the race.
Well, and Space really trumpeting the fact that he did vote. He did oppose that health care bill, so that's probably helped him a great deal in this sort of anti-democratic environment.
Well, in 2 years, 2 different campaigns, I mean, the last one he crushed Fred Daly. Yeah, and this is a Republican district. This was Bob Nay's old seat. So this is an interesting area.
And he's not telling folks that he's always comes back to money, always. And I think, you know, this end run, this the days we have left to the election, it's all going to be about who can get those ads on, who can get their message out, because that's been pivotal all the way through.
And on that note, Space, cash on hand, Space has $1.2 million.
Yeah.
Gibbs has $209,000. So that kind of tells that story. All right, 13th district now. Betty Sutton, incumbent against Tom Ganley. By all accounts, Sutton should be safe. She won with 65% of the vote 2 years ago. Obama only carried that district with 57%, so she outperformed the president. Ganley, though, an auto dealer, has spent $3 million of his own money in this race, but there's a little problem. Accusations now that he groped a would-be campaign volunteer last year, and that is really, he's now pulled his funding for broadcast TV advertising.
Yeah, that's an interesting race because you've got a very well-known car dealer against the woman who basically created Cash for Clunkers. And now you know, he's an independent millionaire. He got out of one of the other statewide races to go into this race, and you know, it looked like for the money that he might actually give her a real race and maybe even win. But yeah, this is causing problems. He's apparently changed his campaign strategy and pulling his on-the-air ads and concentrating on cable and the internet. You can make your choices on whether that's a good idea at this point or not.
Jerry, we have to comment on the 9th district, Rich Ayotte and Marcy Kaptur. I mean, Ayotte was photographed in a Nazi uniform. Yeah. He claims that it's part of historical reenactments that he participates in, but that has really sent his campaign into a tailspin.
There's no context in which you can raise the Nazis or Hitler in any sort of positive way, and I just think that was the wrong thing for him to do totally, and I think rather than defend it, he should have really just apologized it up front.
There's another race, though, where money is huge. Rich Ayotte has $1.5 million. Marcy Kaptur has a little over $300,000. So if you look just at the money, he should be winning, but obviously this controversy doesn't help, and she's been very popular.
Right, and I think Jerry's exactly right. If he'd come right out and said, look, I participate in these things, but I apologize, that was just a boneheaded move, things would probably be different rather than defend it and blame everybody else. We just have a few seconds left, James, but John Boehner could be 2.5 weeks away from becoming the Speaker of the House of Representatives. That's an interesting factoid for Ohio.
Yeah, it would
first
be,
time.
And he probably would bring a little bit more influence back to the Buckeye State, which is expected to lose a couple of seats in reapportionment. So at least having a speaker from here, whether or not you agree with his political views, it would put Ohio, give it a little bit of a higher profile on the national stage.
I think while most people are expecting that he'll be Speaker, there will be a lot of new faces potentially, and that could make a difference.
Not making a sealed deal.
That don't have any sort of sense of the propriety that the long-term entrenched Republicans do. He's going to have to really train these newbies in to follow his line.
All right, I should point out Nicholas Longworth, the last Ohio Speaker back from 1931. All right, be sure to join us next week on Capitol Square. We will take a closer look at the candidates running for statewide offices.
We will. And for comprehensive coverage of Campaign 2010 in Central Ohio and statewide, be sure to check out our websites, onntv.com and 10tv.com.
I'd like to hear from you. We're on Facebook and Twitter. If it's Ohio politics, it is Capitol Square. Take care, everybody.